Oh, this is going to be interesting. Can't listen to myself at that speed. As I was saying, could do better, should do better, will do better. I just fully went for it. I genuinely feel like that's what made me so happy. I have fully embraced single crazy cat lady life. I'm gonna wash my face and we're gonna get some work done. I honestly think I've gotten to a point where my life feels so good. So basically my summary of that is an attempt was made, but could the story of my life. Right, here we go. I actually think I might be burning this. Oh no, I'm definitely burning this. What are your toxic traits? Mine are having to down lots of water before I go to bed because I haven't drank any throughout the day, and making way too much soup. Bye. It's the 10th of January and I feel like for the last couple of weeks, in terms of work, I've just been at a standstill, just struggling to get into first gear. All the self-doubt and the imposter syndrome and everything is just getting to me. I just can't get the ball rolling, and I know this is like a really normal way for people to feel this time of year. These are just tears of frustration at myself. Like, I know the advice I would give to other people and I just need to take it, but it's like adding to my imposter syndrome the fact that I can't seem to bloody take my own advice. This morning it's just kind of reached a point where it kind of had to come out in some way, and it's just come out in tears. Everything else is good, like my injuries are all good at the moment. I'm loving moving and I'm feeling really inspired and motivated, and I've been getting out into the mountains and it makes me so happy. It's just this aspect of my life where I'm just feel like I'm failing or just feel like I'm not doing a good job, and it's always what gets me. It's when I feel like I'm letting myself down or letting other people down. As my friend Jake would say, don't think, just do. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna wash my face and we're gonna get some work done. I've got client calls today, so I'm gonna chat to them and I know that'll make me feel better, and I'm gonna try and film a YouTube video. So hopefully there'll be a video on my channel before you see this. In fact, no, there will be a video, because I'm gonna go and do it. I'm gonna go and wash my face and put on some good music, because that's always a good place to start. And next time you see me, I'm not gonna be in such a state. Good evening. Hopefully I'm looking a little bit less disheveled than I was earlier. I'm feeling a little bit more put together. Sorry, I'm just cooking my dinner, so I'm holding you over the stove. I'm feeling a little bit more put together. I washed my face, I got ready for the day. I did my client calls, which really helped. And then I actually managed to film a YouTube video. So I feel like it ended up being a relatively okay day, especially after that rough start. I went and then met my friend Joanne for a coffee, and that was really lovely as well. So, feeling a little bit better. I thought I'd come on here and just tell you that I'm just feeling a little bit more positive. It's not all doom and gloom. Managed to put my big girl pants on. Just pulling out my library books because they need to be renewed tomorrow. What have I got from the library at the moment? I'm currently reading, well, I borrowed this one as I saw it and I thought it would be interesting to read, the Coaching Bible. I've been wanting to read this book for ages, and I was so stoked when the library had it, because I have looked in Waterstones for this book for so long, and it's so hard to get hold of. But it's basically a nutrition book, so work related. I haven't actually started that yet. And then this one is the one that I've nearly finished, which is How Full Is Your Bucket. So I need to go and renew those. And then I also need to do a few bits and bobs tonight. I need to book my train tickets. I'm going to London to go meet my friend Kirsten. That's the aim of this evening. I also managed to do a little bit of a lower body workout, which was really good. So
all in all, it hasn't been the worst day considering how it started. For dinner, I'm making a really random concoction because I just want to use up the vegetables that I have. I'm making some soup. I'm making curry. I have to pick Hugo up. Right, here he is. So I'm making carrot, butternut squash, ginger and turmeric soup. Roasting up some vegetables, and I'm gonna just put some bread on the side. It's a mixture of everything, an amalgamation of vegetables and bits and bobs from my fridge. Please don't eat my hair. I actually think I might be burning this. So the POA is that I'm gonna cook this, I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna organize everything I need to organize for tomorrow, and I'm gonna go to bed because I wanna get some sleep and wake up in a much more positive frame of mind. I may actually book myself onto Reformer Pilates for tomorrow morning because why not? But whether that actually happens will remain to be seen. Anyway, I will leave you guys on a slightly more positive note for the evening, and I will chat to you guys in the morning. Hola! You joined me probably in a much better mood than when you saw me yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, it was the day before. It was Wednesday. Today I kind of got my ish together and I ended up doing some work in the morning, and then I went to see my friend Kirsten in London, which was just, it was just the best afternoon. I guess he was talking about it. If you guys have been following me since like day dot, you may have heard of Kirsten. He was my first ever calisthenics friend when I lived in Australia, and I just started getting into it, and he reached out, and honestly, Kirsten is like the most outgoing, confident, amazing, energetic, vibrant person. It was exactly what I needed to be around him. We haven't seen each other in 6 years. 6 years. It was just so good to see him. We just went and spent the afternoon doing touristy things in London. He hasn't really been to London before, so I kind of gave him a very mediocre tour of London and showed him some of the sights, and then we ended up just going to a pub and having some whiskey and Guinness. So I introduced him to Guinness, he'd never had it before as well. It was just the most incredible afternoon, and I got back around 11 PM, kind of just crashed, went to bed. This morning I've been up, went to Pilates, sauna, I've had a shower, I've had some client calls, a morning walk. Now I have my laptop because I got a comment on a YouTube video that I made this time last year, and I had completely forgotten. There we go. As I was saying, I had completely forgotten I had made this video, and I am interested because I can't even remember what I said in this video and whether I achieved it, but it's essentially this one here, what my New Year's resolutions and goals were for 2023 and like my recap of 2022. So I thought, seeing as I'm trying to get my ish together, I'm trying to get my life sorted, and I'm trying to get my head around this for 2024, it might be interesting to watch this video back, see what I said, see what's changed, see what I agree with, and also it might help me clear my thoughts in terms of 2024, but also I can soundboard with you guys because you guys are the most important people. So yeah, let's get dug in. I never watch my videos, so this will be interesting. I miss my longer hair, that's for sure. I already have to speed it up. I can't listen to myself at that speed. 1.5, that's where it's at. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. I feel like the way that I approached goal setting has changed over the last couple of years. Now I try to think more about myself in the future. Okay, so this is something that I still do. I try to future pace instead of goal setting specifically. So I try to think of myself this time next year and think about what would have changed or what I would have achieved or where I would be for that to have been a successful year or to be a happy year or for me to feel like I've made progress. And then I kind of work my way backwards. I think about what habits or what things need to take place for that to happen. And then I can kind of place them throughout the year and start working on them. So it's been a really powerful tool for me in terms of goal setting and thinking about where I want to get to. In 2022, I set just one goal for myself. And that kind of came off the back of 2021, which for me was quite tiring. Josh had been in and out of hospital for the best part of 6 months, and my business was the busiest it had ever been, spreading myself a little bit too thin. My New Year's resolution simply was to travel and to adventure and to explore as much as possible within the year. So if I traveled and explored and said yes to things in 2022, I took that and I upped it in 2023. I feel like, looking back at 2022, I was really successful with that goal. But also it's been a really tough year, and I feel like for the last 6 months, I kind of lost myself. There was definitely times in the year where I just let my brain get the better of me and my self-confidence dipped. I don't even really know how to put it into words. I just felt a little bit lost. I felt like I wasn't really myself. I really specifically remember this at the end of 2022, like I think the second half of the year. It was a real struggle for me, and it definitely leached into 2023. The beginning of 2023 was pretty rough, Not in terms of, like, overall I was very happy and the year was amazing for me. I was still struggling with this idea of like finding my identity and really not letting myself lose myself, because that's kind of what I felt like I was happening in 2022. So 2022, incredibly amazing things. I learned how to ski, I learned how to scuba dive, incredible hikes. I started my mountain leader qualification. I feel like I became a better coach. On the other hand, very challenging personally in terms of personal development. And I suppose, I don't know, I find it really hard to put it into words, but just feeling like I am the most authentic version of me. I think that's the best way of describing it. I just didn't authentically feel like myself. I was being myself, but I didn't feel like I could fully embrace it myself because of some of the people around me or some of the situations that I was in. Interestingly as well, and I've mentioned this quite a bit on my Instagram, that I felt like within a work capacity, I was restrained slightly from really fully exploring the things that I loved because I felt resistant to change. Not that I didn't want to change, but I felt like I shouldn't be changing. And then it kind of clicked at the beginning of the year and I was like, but we're people and people change. I definitely have changed. My interests have changed. What my focuses are have changed. I've changed as a person. And I was almost reluctant to share my passion for the outdoors or for learning new skills, climbing, skiing, all that sort of stuff, mountaineering. But then I made a really concerted effort to actually just commit to starting to share the things that I was really passionate about and to show that I was growing as a person and that that was okay. And I think that was one of the big pivotal changes of 2023. So I think that being a yes person, saying yes to opportunities, doing things that scared me have really helped me to do that. And I genuinely feel that I have found my authentic self and I'm comfortable sharing my true passions as well. And I think there's a combination of factors that have made that happen. I feel like last year was productive. However, in terms of the content that I was putting out, even though I like to put out content that's very informative, I sort of reflect back and I feel like I could have done better. And so for me this year, a big goal is to do better. Okay, so YouTube. I feel like that was a massive flop last year. Same goal, could do better, should do better, will do better. I did do more vlogs, definitely did more vlogs, and I find that that's much easier for me to film because I'm just picking up the camera. I can talk to you guys like you're my friends and just take you along with my life because it is so varied. Like every single day is totally different. And I also think because I was traveling and hiking and doing so many other things last year that YouTube almost took a bit of a backseat. I cannot tell you how guilty and how much it has weighed on me that I haven't uploaded regularly throughout 2023. And also what kind of content, because there's a bit of a mishmash in terms of my business. I do a lot of outdoor stuff now. I do my online training, and then obviously calisthenics is still a huge passion of mine. But then there's a huge aspect of motivation, mindset, weight loss, building community that's so important to me. It's almost like I have so many different interest areas and things that I'm passionate about, and it's just trying to find that right fit of making videos and being regular with the uploads. So yeah, it's definitely something that's weighed on me a lot, but massive flop. I feel like I failed on that goal hugely last year. In terms of my personal training though, I still absolutely love it. I do sometimes still miss the face-to-face interaction that you get when you work in a gym. And so for 2024, one of my personal goals is to try and run more workshops. Probably be aware, if you follow me on Instagram, you may be aware from a few posts that I've put up on YouTube that I'm gonna be running group hikes and group workshops and retreats and stuff like that throughout this year, mainly within the UK, but there's going to be a few overseas ones as well. So for me, that's going to be an amazing opportunity to push myself, to create connection, to create community, and get that one-to-one interaction as well, while I'm still able to do personal training online and work with clients all over the world. If there was a word that I was going to give to 2023 when I kind of look at society and how the world is at the moment, one thing that I feel like is already lacking is community. We have a little community. And then so that's definitely like a buzzword that I kind of have in the forefront of my brain is community. And I almost feel annoyed at myself just watching this back because I'm still saying the same thing. And in some ways, as you saw earlier on in this video, overthinking it. And I'm just trying to clear my thoughts and get it all so it works. The thing is, maybe there's an aspect of me being hard on myself because I definitely did a lot of the groundwork for this goal in 2023, and 2024 is the year where it kind of comes into fruition. I'm able to actually action those things. So maybe I am being a little bit hard on myself, but I look at myself and I'm like, oh Lucy, come on, like you've been saying this for so long now and you have done aspects of this. Am I being hard on myself? Is everyone like this? I think we probably all are like this. I launched the app at the end of 2021, and I have been trying to upload programs onto that as and when I can. Calisthenics based, which is such a huge passion of mine. When I get a message or I see a comment or I have someone come up to me in the gym and they'll say, I bought a pull-up bar, or I'm learning pull-ups because of you, or I'm trying to do handstands because of you. I cannot tell you, it literally makes my heart want to explode. I was talking about the app there, but in terms of my own training, it's been very much, we'll just do what we do. And I love it like that. Like, to me, movement is movement. It's just enjoying using your body in any way possible. And I have been doing so many more activities and learning so many new skills. I've learned how to ride a motorbike, I've learned lots of mountaineering skills, I've learned how to lead climb, I have been practicing skiing, I've learned how to snowboard, I have started scuba diving. What else have I done? There's definitely a few other things I'm missing out. But basically it was the year of learning new skills and then practicing them and just challenging myself mentally in a way that is going to push me to be able to then challenge other people in the same way. But that being said, I feel like my calisthenics is just kind of maintained at best. There's definitely been peaks and troughs, and I'm at a point now where even pull-ups feel really, really hard, and it's definitely more of a mental block than a physical one. But I feel like I'm at day dot, just down to the fact that my training has been quite inconsistent with calisthenics, just because, again, I've been doing so many other things and loving it. Secondly, I've had quite a lot of injuries throughout the year, and just thirdly, like traveling and doing that sort of stuff. It's just been on maintenance mode, and I'm totally happy with that. Like, that's absolutely fine for me because I still love it and I still love what I'm doing, and that's the most important thing to me. There is something that over the next few years I would like to start increasing in terms of bringing it into my business slowly. It's outdoors, it's being up in the mountains, it's hiking, it's adventuring, it's learning new skills. That's something that I want to start incorporating more. So yeah, on Instagram, I definitely shared a lot more of this stuff, and you wouldn't really have seen too much of it on YouTube, just again, because I thought that no one would really be interested in it. But I started to just slowly start increasing that volume of stuff that I was showing you over here as well. That being said, I definitely did not keep up with having any separate accounts. That was just not gonna happen. 2023 is the year to start seeing progress, but it's more of a general thing. I want to feel like I'm working towards being my true, authentic self as much as possible, having a zest for life, loving life, having energy, being a positive influence to those around you. I honestly feel like 2023, I really did manage to do that, to be the energy giver and to be really, really positive. I felt like especially towards the end of the year, I felt like I was just constantly floating on a cloud. I was just so happy. Everything was amazing, and I felt like, well, coming back to the beginning of what we said, that most authentic version of myself. I went into Christmas, well, I was very, very sick, but I went into Christmas and the end of the year just being like, what an amazing year. And I almost think that the fact that it was such an incredible year, and I felt like I developed so much as a person and everything just was so positive, and there was so many experiences in it, that I put pressure on myself for 2024, and maybe that's kind of compounding the issue that I'm feeling at the moment. I want to work on improving my pull-ups. I also would like to continue working on my press handstand. That's also not happening. Start improving on some of the skills that I learned last year. I want to do more scuba diving, to learn how to ski better. Skiing was incredible. I want to get better at mountaineering. I need to learn how to use my crampons and my ice axe properly, so I'm going to book myself onto a winter skills course. I hiked in so many different countries this year, and there are some really interesting routes that I would love to be able to do by the end of the year. Okay, so basically my summary of that is an attempt was made but could do better. I feel like that's the story of my life. Do you know what? A lot of my goals are still very similar this year, but I feel like I did make a lot of headway and also put a lot of foundations in place last year to make it even better this year. But I don't want to be sitting in this position next year looking back and going, could have done more. I want to say, did it. So that is the goal for 2024 essentially. If we're looking more specifically, because I would love your guys' feedback on this a little bit, but in 2024, I really want to take my love and my passion for the outdoors and really just go with it. Like I said, you may know that I'm running some group hikes. So I've got a fully booked out one in Scotland in March, which is a winter skills course for women. And then we've got another one, which is really, really limited spaces, which is just opened for May in Scotland. We're going to do the Cullen Ridge, and we're going to do bivvies overnight as well. So that's going to be incredible. And then in September, we've got the Canada trip, and there's still some spaces on that as well. And then also throughout the year, I'm planning on running some calisthenics workshops, and also hopefully some sort of more holistic weekends where we do a bit of everything. Like, it's going to be everyone staying in the same accommodation. We're going to go on some group hikes. We'll probably do some calisthenics stuff. Might get some external tutors in to do things like yoga or mindfulness or baking or whatever it might be. And essentially the idea is that we're going to just create community. I want to create connection. I want to empower people who have always felt that maybe the outdoors or certain skills are out of their grasp due to maybe their background, their fitness, their experience, not knowing anyone who does those things. Bring them together, be able to empower them, to be able to teach them, and just bring good about and make people feel confident about themselves. That is basically my goal for 2024. I do need to finish my mountain leader qualification. It's quite a long qualification to do, but I've already smashed out several hikes this year, which I'm really stoked about. So I was going to keep grinding away at that and try to get to the mountains as much as possible. And I'm also going to potentially learn how to be a climbing instructor as well. So things like that are definitely on the cards in terms of 2024. In terms of how I'm going to make that happen, I think that's where I'm overthinking it at the moment. And I want to be able to create community as much as possible. And that's where I'm kind of just like laying everything out at the moment and thinking, okay, what's going to give and how can we make this work in the best way possible to help as many people as possible. It's really, really exciting. It's a little bit overwhelming and I will get there, I promise you. It's just going to take me a little bit of time. But if you guys have any ideas, any thoughts, or even just some feedback, I would appreciate it so much. Things like, you know, why you follow me or what you want to see, or any ideas that you have that you think would be really cool or helpful or useful in your life, just bombard me. That's what I need right now, because ultimately this is for you guys. So in terms of business, that's kind of my goal for 2024. Obviously I'm going to keep coaching and do all that stuff as well, because I absolutely love it. You know, that's what I've been doing for the best part of 6 years now. It's my main thing. It's a core part of my business. It's what I really, really love. And I just get so much from being able to see people grow and develop. So that's not going anywhere. In terms of personal goals, a lot of them go hand in hand with some of my business goals for the year. I want to continue upskilling. Like I mentioned, I want to do my mountain leader qualification and a few other ones there. I want to challenge myself in a few different ways. I also want to invest in my own skills a little bit more. A lot of the things I do are self-taught, and while that's great, there's so much benefit to actually investing some money and being able to do courses or take yourself on experiences that you might not normally do. So I want to do that just to challenge myself and personally develop in that way. But also I want to continue developing as a person like I did last year. I know I didn't really talk about it too much, but you guys definitely know about it. Last year, when I started the year, I was in a relationship. I'd been in a long-term relationship, and I'd actually been in like 2 back-to-back long-term relationships. We broke up in June, and for me, it was probably one of the best things that could have happened. I still absolutely adore him as a person. However, it was just not working as a relationship, and I felt like I was losing myself. And so once that was relieved, I just felt like I could fully embrace pouring into my own cup and finding that, I keep saying it, but that authentic version of myself. And for the second half of that year, I just fully went for it. And I genuinely feel like that's what made me so happy. It challenged me. I think I learned so much about myself. Even starting dating again was wild. There were so many things that were coming up that I was like, oh, this is a me thing and I need to work on this. And it was so good to be able to have that like shone in my face like a mirror and be able to acknowledge that, develop and work on it. And I think that has just made the world of difference. But I also just love having time to myself. I love living by myself. I have fully embraced single crazy cat lady life. And I honestly think I've gotten to a point where my life feels so, so good that I am very, very wary of anyone else coming in and disrupting that in any way. So I'm almost resistant to relationships at this point. If anything starts to feel like it's getting a little bit relationshipy, I kind of like dig my heels in. I'm like, no. But honestly, I have absolutely just loved learning about myself, developing, being by myself and doing cool things. And I really just want that to continue in 2024. Another personal goal for this year is to do more solo travel. I really, really enjoy how much it pushes you out your comfort zone. I went to Madeira and did a week of solo hiking last year in May, and it was probably one of my favorite trips of the year. And I did quite a few trips last year. So I really want to embrace that a lot more and not only do a lot more solo travel overseas, but also do a lot more solo hiking as well. I do a fair bit already, but I want to do a little bit more. And then also getting a ski trip in a week's time. I'm going to Bulgaria and I'm going to go and see my friend Willem. He lives in a van out there, and I'm hoping that we're going to get up into the mountains and do a bit of skiing. If not, we'll be doing some hiking, but we're definitely going to make it an epic trip, that is for sure. So hopefully that will be ticked off very, very shortly. So all in all, that is pretty much, if I'm sitting here in 2025 and looking back at my year, that is kind of what I want my year to look like. I kind of want it to look like 2023, but bigger and better. And then I will be content that I've made progress, that I am following my true path. That sounds so cliche, but it's so true. But that being said, I also kind of have no clue where my life will be. I kind of can predict it, and I kind of just don't know, and I'm totally okay with that. I talked about it in my previous video, but these bangles that I wear, these quotes are reminders of how I want to live my life. One of them says, die with memories, not dreams, and it's written in Icelandic. And the other one says, don't you dare say this is your last journey, and it's written in Hungarian. And then the final one says, follow your dreams. And just in case you didn't know, my mum makes these for me, so they have a lot of sentimental meaning, as does the necklace that I wear on my neck. But these quotes are kind of what I want to live my life by. You're a long time dead, you've got to embrace it while you can, make the most of it. Yes, there's gonna be ups, yes, there's gonna be downs. We've seen that in this video, and I'm sure there'll be more to come, definitely. But it's about embracing it, enjoying every moment, being in the present, and just making the most of life. I always say this, but if I can do something, then you guys sure as hell can, because I am just a bog standard, normal girl, and I started doing all these things in my late 20s. I'd never put a pair of hiking boots on. I'd never put a pair of climbing shoes on until I was about 30. I didn't even know what crampons or harnesses were, and somehow this is my life now, and I absolutely love it. I honestly think I'm gonna have a super chilled weekend, because I was meant to be in London. I decided to just come back in the evening just to cut my trip short, just because I have so many other things I want to organise. My flat is a mess, my life is a mess. I need to get on top of that, I need to catch up with work, I need to do my taxes, which is never fun. And we'll just see what else the weekend has on hold. So, what are your toxic traits? Because mine are having to tuck my hot water bottle down my track pants every single night, having to down lots of water before I go to bed because I haven't drank any throughout the day, and making way too much soup. But I found a new good soup recipe and I am loving it. But it's kind of like a curry, carrot, butternut squash, cauliflower soup, and then I just chuck in a load of garlic and chili, a lot of chili, because I just love anything spicy. And Bob's your uncle is pretty damn good. So I'm making a batch of it now. I say I'm making a batch, but I will eat this all tonight. Absolutely no doubt about it. I'm gonna cook this. I'm also gonna cook up some chicken, so I have some protein as well. I've been trying to eat more protein recently. Not loving it, but it's definitely making me a lot more satiated, that is for sure. And I thought I would come on here and sign off this video. The next vlog that I will be doing will be a Bulgaria vlog, because I'm heading over to Bulgaria on Monday. I'm gonna go and meet my friend Willem there, who's living in a van, and we are gonna go and just see what's happening. Excited to see Willem, I haven't seen him in ages, and it's just gonna be really, really fun. So that will be the next video that you see in terms of vlog. Just uploaded tonight my first video of 2024. I literally have been so in my head about work, and I was like, put your big girl pants on, go and film, edit, get it, and I feel like I've been on my grind this week. Everything is looking up in comparison to how it has been for the last couple of weeks. One astounding piece of information is that I got my period today, so now everything kind of makes sense. The world is not ending, and everything is not awful. Everything is okay. So on that slightly more positive note, I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you have the most beautiful week, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.